And it's very funny, I've always thought, like, what does the economy look like? What does it feel like? Now, when Shane and I were kids, there were things called slow sets in discos. Do you have slow sets? They're very strange because you normally have a bloke like from, I don't know, Cork City, let's say up in Dublin, a DJ. He'd say, come here, Lang, I want you, la. And then he'd suddenly turn into this mid-Atlantic drawl saying, we're just going to slow it all down. And as a red-haired man, but a red-haired child, particularly a red-haired boy teenager, I have a pathological fear of slow sets, okay? Because, you know, you're chatting away to a girl up until the slow set, and she's all blinky and batty-eyed and whatever, and then the slow set comes and she runs away from you as if you've said something horrible, right? With your intentions, with your, you know. And that's the problem. You know, I still break out in a cold sweat at the opening bar of Spandau Ballet's True, actually. And I'm quite a mature person, right? And at the slow set, basically, there was sort of two types of people at the slow set. There's three types, actually. There were redhead blokes who were basically given a flagon and told to go away and not be insulting everybody's chances by our ugliness, right? And our weirdness. And the red sort of, you know, because that's why red-haired blokes actually end up being quite good public talkers, right? Because we spent so much time trying to make people laugh over the years, trying to pretend we're more interesting. Because our big fear was when the lights went on, that she'd see the big red fro. And you see, you all get it, you see? And she'd go, oh my God, he's got red hair. And she'd flee and you'd be left there, naked-ish. Looking down, going, oh no, right? Bad stuff, bad look, very bad look in middle of dance floor with lights on and a big red fro, okay? So keep that in your mind, that image. No, not that image. Who sniggered at the back there? Filthy, Jesus wept. Anyway, this is how the economy works. I'm talking about economics here, right? So the school disco. So the Redzers are abandoned on the basis of taste, okay? And then what you have is two types of people. You had wallflowers who, the minute the music stopped and went slow, kind of disappeared onto the wall all over the place, like sort of gangrenous, sort of gelatinous thing, right? And then you had the flirts. People who got really cocky, right? Really cocky old lads throwing shapes and all that sort of stuff, right? And batty eyelids on young ones and, you know, all that sort of stuff, right? Now, a friend of mine was a notorious flirt, right? We had the inter-cert, you had the junior cert. Like this fella now, on his inter-cert results nights, he got about 7 snogs, right? All sorts of things, right? All indiscriminate activity all around the dance floor, okay? You know, you got ones you wouldn't bring home to your ma, people you would bring home to your ma. He got Protestant snogs that counted for 2 back then. And they did. We know they did. Proper Protestant snogs counted for 2, okay? Right? Now, he was a flirt. I'm glad to say now he's fat and bald, which is great for me, because it makes me feel good, you know? All my weird madness stuff comes back, right? And he could nail all the wallflowers. Now, think about your career, what you're going to do when you leave here. The world is a big school disco. And it's divided between flirts and wallflowers. And that doesn't change as you get older. The people who inherit everything and who do well in this society are the flirts. They're the people who get noticed. They're the people who do something different. The people who, because they're doing something different, stand out from the crowd. And by standing out from the crowd, you end up being better than everybody else at certain things. Now, the reason I bring this up is because that's how the economy works when you leave education. And the reason you're probably better at something than somebody else, I believe, as somebody who's had so many jobs, it's ridiculous, is that if you do what you love, not what you're supposed to do when you leave education, but what you love, you will be considerably better than anybody else at it. Because once you do what you love, you liberate yourself. Like, I have a friend of mine who is probably my best mate, who is the campus man I have ever met, right? And he went to London because it wasn't very easy being a gay man in Dublin in the late 80s. In fact, it was probably quite dangerous being a gay man in Dublin in the 80s, given the prevalent level of tolerance of the lads in Ballybrack, which wasn't much, right? And the lads in Dunleary. Now, this friend of mine, and he's still my best mate, about 5 years ago, and he's got so camped up now, it's ridiculous. Like, he makes Graham Norton look straight, okay? And he's just all over the place. And he came home, and I said, how are you? And he said, I'm great, and here's my boyfriend, and blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm really nervous. So I said, why are you nervous? He works at the BBC, he's doing extremely well. I said, why are you nervous? He said, I have to tell the mammy. He was 36, right? He said, I have to tell the mammy. And I know his ma, I've known his ma all my life, right? She's a nurse from the country, right? Nice lady. Would be going to Mass, though, a bit too often now for my liking, but nonetheless, nice lady. And he says, he's going to have to tell the mammy. And I said, what are you going to say? You're not going to tell her what you actually do, are you? No, he said, no. I said, you're going to come out and be gay. He went in and told his mother. His mother's 78. She just looked at him, she says, I knew you were gay since you were 3. Right? It's all right, I love you. Right? Now the point was, doing what you love after college is like coming out. He is now so happy because he's actually made his peace with a woman he'd never had to make peace with, his own ma, who knew he was gay, but he was living in fear and he had all that inside him. And then once he came out, he's happy as can be. But he's really over the top now. It's shocking stuff. Like, really, you're out there, Eddie Izzard sort of stuff, mad carry on, right? Now, what I'd say to you is, think of the flirts. The flirts came out at the wall, at the slow set, and they ended up doing what they loved, and they got noticed. Think of this friend of mine, gay friend of mine, comes out, is happy within his own skin, and therefore is brilliant at what he does. And when you leave here, the only lesson in economics you need to know is that the world out there is like a big slow set, and it belongs to the flirts. So no matter what Shane says to you, what you better learn how to do more than anything else is flirt. Thank you very much.